Our next guest is James Cuda from Savage Interactive. Along with Alien Blue, it's an app that just blew me away and immediately made it to the front page of my iPad. So really happy to hear from James today, and I will bring him out.
G'day everyone, I'm James from Savage Interactive, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about taking a risk and how that really paid off for us, and how it didn't pay off in a lot of ways, and hopefully there's something there that you guys can take away. And the reason why it was a big risk for us to get into iOS development was because we actually started 6 years ago as a branding agency, as a digital agency, and as a digital agency, we did pretty well in that time in Hobart. We'd won a lot of awards and we were pretty recognised in Hobart. It's safe to say, I suppose, we didn't suck, and we had a business plan that we set 6 years ago that sounds kind of childish when I'm going to put it up here and show you guys, but that's what actually happened. And today's talk's going to be pretty honest about what actually happened in Savage. So I'm hoping that being open and honest with you guys, you'll be able to take something away from it. And this was our business plan. And it does look pretty childish up there, but that's how we started. It was just a place to make really cool stuff. And we kind of got disillusioned over time, and got sort of caught up as a company, as a business. But one of the core philosophies we had at Savage was that design and engineering are essential to making a great product. Yeah, they're equal. They, every great product has always been formed and forged by great design and great engineering, and that's something that we sort of carried through all of our time at Savage Media. And I don't have to tell you guys how awesome Apple stuff is, but we really liked Apple product because they appealed to us because of the design and engineering sensibilities. And I don't think it's safe to say we were fanboys. Well, we are fanboys, but we run Windows 7 on media centres, and we have wicked gaming rigs that we use to play Counter-Strike and Left 4 Dead. And really, I think we just like technology, and that's because we're just geeks. And there's 4 of us in Savage, and we, as a company, we were always for hire. We were guns for hire. So people would come to us for a project, and we'd try and execute it as best we could. And as a company, we just sort of felt disillusioned because it was no longer becoming a place to make great things. Instead, it was just becoming a drudgery. Putting up with dickhead clients that they don't have a great budget or whatever. But we just sort of became really disillusioned. So when we saw the iPhone come to market, at the time it was a pretty big deal, as we all know, and we thought this could be something we could do for ourselves. It's got all the right markings for something we could do for ourselves, and so Savage did absolutely nothing. And the reason why we didn't do anything is because, as a small business, you've got a lot of responsibility. Everyone has to be paid. The 4 of us have to have a wage. We can't not pay people. And we have web hosting we're responsible for, domain management. There's just lots of stuff that go along with a small business. And we let life crowd us, and we were too scared. We didn't take a risk. And then we started hearing rumours of this tablet that Apple were making, which we know now is the iPad. And for us, it was it really appealed to us. It was more powerful than a phone, not as powerful as a desktop, but it had all the right markings for something that we thought, again, we should really do something with this. But this time we thought we can't do what we did with the iPhone. With the iPhone, we just completely missed the opportunity. We saw the SDK go out. Bye. Technical service, please. Yeah, so to get back to where we were, the iPad really appealed to us. And it was more powerful than the phone and not as powerful as a desktop, but it had some great stuff that we wanted to do. So we actually went straight down to the accountants and opened up on paper Savage Interactive. And it was great on paper. You know, we signed up as Apple developers, and that's all well and good. But the fact of the matter is, we'd never actually designed for anything other than really web, and we'd never programmed for anything other than web. But we really wanted to try and express ourselves, try and get back to our roots. So we started straight away with just some ideas, and one of the first ideas was a sketch app. When you look at the iPad, the first thing we thought was it'd be cool if you could sketch and draw and use it as a pad. There were apps out there that had done it, but we thought we could probably do it and improve in certain ways better. But the iPad was going to be released in I think 3 weeks, and the App Store was going to be open in about that time. So we wanted our app to coincide with the launch of the store. So we thought there's no way we're going to do that in time. So one of the other ideas that we had was a task manager. And we thought we could probably pull that off in 3 weeks, even with no experience. We can just do lots of late nights, lots of caffeine, and try and really bring something to market in time for the launch of for the App Store. And that product was known as Sorted when we released it. And my font's screwed. But rather than that, it doesn't matter, because the fact of the matter is that Sorted did reasonably well. And we learnt a lot about iOS development. We made a lot of mistakes with Sorted. And that was good. It was good we made those mistakes, because we learned from those mistakes. And we really had so much fun developing for iOS. You know, this was a device that had one resolution. You didn't have to write any Microsoft hacks or anything like that. It was one device, one containment, and we really, really enjoyed making stuff for the iPad. So we went straight back to our original idea, which was the sketching app that we had sort of had on the table. And we started immediately trying to flow out ideas for how would this sketch app work. And when we started looking into it, it was a pretty big project. We wanted something that was natural and fluid, because all the other guys were doing everything on the CPU, so it was really slow and clunky, and we thought we could improve that. And the way we were going to do that was bring it to market using OpenGL. And we wanted fast access to all our tools, so we needed a UI that was always persistent. We wanted to simulate a paint medium, because, you know, brushes have really cool textures and randomness to it, you know, and anomalies. And we wanted to create a way that you could move beyond the Photoshop metaphor of just soft and hard brushes. So we needed to make our own custom painting engine. And we also wanted to mix and smudge paint together, which means we needed to go to 64-bit colour sampling, because there's all sorts of alpha issues that go with that. And we wanted to have custom brushes as a part of the app, and also high-definition painting. We had no clue how to do that. But that was only the major things. There was just so much that we needed to do for Project Mayhem, which, by the way, was our internal name for the project. And it was just a massive, monumental undertaking for someone who'd never really designed or engineered. And we only have one developer. And it was a really big deal. So we just got straight into it. We started a long process of UI design and development. And it was really just learning, really just, you know, reading about OpenGL, reading about Objective-C, reading and looking at interfaces and how they worked on the iPad. And it was just this constant revolution of refining and refining and refining and refining. And it was 10 months of pretty much, you know, this refinement process before we had something that was working, was relatively good. But the problem that we had was that our company, Savage Media, was consuming almost all of our time. And our side projects were just sort of getting done at night. You know, Lloyd and I'd be on, you know, iChat working late at night, caffeined up, trying to you know, finish the project, because we had more fun doing that. We really wanted to do the fun stuff. But we had the problem. We still had a lot of stuff that we had to worry about as Savage Media. So we kind of hit a bit of an identity crisis. You know, who are we? And we got to a point where we thought, you know, there's just no good time to do this. There's never going to be the right time. You're never going to have everything come into place. So it was pretty obvious we're just going to have to take a risk. We're just going to have to do this. And we took, you know, had a meeting with everyone in the room and said, what do you guys want to do? as a company, do you want to keep working for Guns for Hire, or do you want to make stuff for ourselves and sell it? And it's pretty unanimous. Everyone wanted to do the fun stuff, wanted to move to Si. So I had a meeting with Alana and said, how long will we have? If we take this risk and close down Savage Media completely, walk away from it and start developing iOS full time, how long will we have before we're dead? And she said, 6 weeks. So with no money coming in the door, we sort of pissed our pants and thought, is this the right thing to do? But we really believed in this product, Project Mayhem, that we were making. We really believed that we were making something good. And we had the philosophy, that we'd taken from Savage Media, that we didn't want to make a lot of apps. That works for some people. But for us, we wanted to make special apps. We wanted to do quality over quantity. I'm not saying either one's right or wrong. That's just what we wanted to do. So we started the process. We started to really move our entire city office to my house. We released the office space and we met with our accountants and said, we're leaving. And they said, what, have you contracted leprosy or something? What are you doing? We were a profitable company. We'd never been in the red. Even during the financial crisis, we were always in the black. So they just thought we were strange. And we met with our clients and told them what we were doing, and they were pretty angry, and they were kind of lost and didn't really know what we were doing. And we had to try and find a way to migrate all of our clients over to somewhere else. And of course, there's lots of stuff that go with the move, like the payroll and all the administration. And of course, on top of all that, we had to release Project Mayhem. And then of course, on a personal level, a lot of people didn't understand what we were doing. Here we were a reasonably successful Hobart agency, and we were just moving to a house and making apps. No one really understood it, so they kind of thought we'd gone a bit strange. By that point, we kind of lost, after farting around for so long, we lost some time, and it was 5 weeks we were left with. And 5 weeks to really move the company across was pretty scary, so we just had to jump into action. We pretty much isolated Lloyd, our developer, and he which he loved, working from home, and just kept refining. We worked on iChat, and it was a really long process, but we did it. We closed down the company completely, and we started Savage Interactive. And of course, with that, we released our first app, our first real app, because Sorted was really just a test bed. It was just to see if it was something we'd enjoy. And so, we released our drawing app, which is known today as Procreate, which is kind of a weird name, I know, but we are looking at moving it more towards the professional arena, so it's this kind of double entendre that's going on with the name. And we were really excited to bring it to market. We've been working for a year on it all up, and it was really well received when we launched it. And the art that you could create with Procreate was really cool. Oh no, there we go. So the art that you could create with Procreate was really great, and the feedback we were getting from people was kind of astounding. We thought we'd made something pretty good, but what people were telling us was great. We almost started getting these fanboys that were following us. Was really weird, but awesome. The iTunes store, which is really important. Customer reviews are just directly proportional to what your sales are going to be doing. And they started just flooding in with these awesome reviews. And we mainly looked at the United States and the UK, because that's kind of where the biggest markets are for us. So we were really happy. And we were hoping for around 30 to 50 sales a day, we'd calculated, to keep the company sustained. And instead of 30 to 50, we kind of did a bit more than that when it happens.
And as if nothing happened at all, I bring back to the stage the lovely James.
Welcome to the sequel. So I'll try and pick up roughly where we last were, and hopefully the message will still be there with a little bit of impact. So we had just released Procreate. We had moved our company and shut everything down and started a Savage Interactive, and Procreate had just hit the store and we were getting fantastic reviews. So where we last left off was we thought we were going to hit around 30 to 50 sales per day, but we kind of got a bit more than that, and we were really happy with where that was going. And then something happened. We got some trolls on our page. These guys were just visceral in what they were saying, and early on I was saying, I want to be really open and honest about the story. So this is a part that not many people do talk about, but the fact of the matter is there are some developers in other nations that like to play a little bit dirty, and we didn't know any of this. We were sort of really naive. We thought, well, if we do a good job, then that's the end of the story. But we started seeing these reviews that were just obscene in what they were saying, like it doesn't have any colours, don't buy it, and buy X app. And this particular app kept getting raised again and again and again. And we thought, look, maybe we just have to wait and see how it all pans out. But unfortunately, our sales just dived. So those reviews on the store are directly proportional to the amount of revenue you're going to receive. And once the sales started dipping pretty bad, we thought either we've made a really shit program or it's real. Someone really is sort of gunning for us. So we went to iTunes and we asked the iTunes guys, can you investigate what's going on here, because our app is just plummeting. It's just dropping off everything, because when you hit the store in Britain and America, it's just got these filthy reviews. And to our surprise, they were really fake. They were just written by throwaway accounts, and this particular developer is now being investigated as a result. And it was a shock to us because we'd not really been exposed to that side of iTunes. But this guy he was like a bad fart. He just never went away, and he just kept on putting this stuff on our store, and we were trying to fight it, and we didn't really know how to fight it. So what we did was we had a meeting saying, if sales keep going down this way, we gave ourselves 5 weeks to make this leap of faith. If it keeps heading down this way, we're dead. So what are we going to do? And Cameron said, why don't we do something crazy and just release it for free? And we thought, we worked a long time for this app and we've risked a lot to get here. Releasing it for free, I don't know. But as Cameron pointed out, what have we got to lose? If people use our app, hopefully they'll see how much time and effort we've put into it. And that's what we did. We said, yep, let's do this, let's put it out for free. And we were hoping for around 5,000 downloads around that, and hopefully some good reviews. But in 24 hours we got 100,000 downloads. And the reviews were great. People love free stuff, right? So, they're going to download it. But the reviews just really started picking up. People were going, wow, I'd never heard of this app before. It was recommended on Twitter or something, and it's great, etc., etc. And so Procreate started rocketing up the charts. And we were finally starting to feel safe because we'd taken this risk and it felt like we were about to crash and burn. And what happened next was really interesting. Apple approached us. And we're still talking to them today about some different bits and pieces. But it was a pretty big blow away for the Apple guys to come and say good day to us. And part of the result of that was we were featured as App of the Week around most of the app stores around the world. So that was really, really cool. And again, sales just kept sort of going, and we were getting this really good fan base going, and it was a really sort of turbulent time. And at that point, we were still working on our next update. And 1.5 was very, very close to being released because the iPad 2 was on the scene, and one of the things we wanted to bring to Procreate was high definition painting, which is just quadrupling the amount of pixels you can push around on a screen. And we couldn't do it in the first version because it's just too much for the iPad to actually compute. it was just too much. But the iPad 2 had the A5 chip, and the A5 chip is an absolute beast of a GPU. And because Procreate is a OpenGL-based painting app, we were really able to bring a lot of power to Procreate and actually able to deliver high-definition painting. And here's an example of a high-definition painting. This is a finger painting done in Procreate. There is no Photoshop or photos involved. And we're really proud of where that went. And a part of 1.5 bringing high-definition painting was also a complete revamp of the user interface as well. So it was a really big update, and we sort of hit the ground running, and we never stopped developing. We really just released one, and all that other stuff was happening, and we were still working on 1.5 in the background. And when we released 1.5, we hit the #1 entertainment app in almost every country around the world, and we even went a little further than that. And in Germany, we hit the #1 app overall for the iPad. We pushed out Cut the Rope and the other guys. So that was a really big moment for us, because we felt like we're okay. Maybe we're okay now. We can stop, sleepless nights and whatnot. So it's going to sound probably disjointed because the preso is sort of in two halves, but really the thing that I'm hoping that I can share with you guys today is really about a calculated risk and what that can do for you guys, because whether you like it or not, you're going to be in business for yourself and with Apple, and risk is just a part of being in business. And now we're able to continue working on new updates that we're going to be doing for Sorted. Our little test app is now getting completely revised, and we've got enough revenue coming in now from Procreate to able to support us doing what we love, doing the fun stuff, working on the next update. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff with cloud and whatnot, and also we're going to be doing some new stuff with Procreate as well. So flanked by these two products, we wanted to go out there with quality apps. We've tried our best, and using just those two apps, we're able to now support 4 people. And really, I suppose, because we followed our hearts and took a risk, and knowing that it could pay off really badly and it could all end up really messy, we were very happy to be in the position now to be telling you guys it didn't end bad, and we're okay. And I think that the core message of taking a risk is really following what's important to you, not following the money, because if you do a good job, the money will come. And it'll come in really unexpected ways. So thank you very much, guys. I hope the presentation being broken in two, hope the message sort of still got across, and thanks for having me.
Thank you, James. James, I don't think you need to worry about the presentation being cut in half. The Twitter responses have been pretty good so far. So.